Hello, welcome to Flory Models. This is Wednesday the 22nd of April's video vlog. Haven't worked it out yet which way I'm going to say this one. As you can see, we are in a right mess. Yes, I am weathering the Bradley, which is coming along quite nicely. Literally just started on it. So we're working our way through the different shades. So we're using oils to give us our sort of oily stains in the background there, as you can see. A little bit underneath as well, because I often think that gets a bit overlooked. This side's one stage before, so this one's sort of more the sort of yellowy stage before the oranges have sort of gone on there to sort of break it up and everything else. So as you can see, quite a lot going on that one. And to be honest, I do love this bit. I must admit, I've never used pigments before, really. For the last couple of builds I've used them. I'm now using them as quite an integral part of the build. The track's absolutely fantastic as well. As you can see here, these are the undone ones. So by using the little metal plate, which is this guy here, to do the treads, made this an absolute doddle. Okay, so this is unweathered, okay, so I've done a before and after, if you like. Okay, so that's that one. And then this is the weathered version, so there we go. Gives us our both the sides on there. You can see a sort of before and after. Really am enjoying it. Lots and lots of fun, lots and lots of mess. But there we go. So I've been filming this today. I've been over in the spray booth as well with a few other bits and pieces. Got my eye on a couple of little projects I'm going to be working on in the future as well, so I'll be doing a bit of research on things like that. I've been looking at some more Star Wars stuff. No, I must stop. Keep looking at the Bandai stuff, and it's like stuff being released, but the trouble is I'm away. So it's like, now do I order it? Do I wait till I come back? Oh, I don't know. Too many things coming out at the moment. I've also been looking at a couple of people have asked me about, obviously, the Mosquito 132nd. So obviously we get the HK Models one, and we know it's going to be touted around about the 150 quid, I think, mark, probably more by the time you get it in the UK and postage, versus the Tamiya one. So I've been doing a little bit of research on the Tamiya one, finding out what I can and can't about it. For my money, from what I understand, they're going to be roughly the same price. So I've been thinking to myself, now do I, you know, go with the Tamiya one, because let's face it, we know it'll be perfect. Do we go along with the HK one, which is almost untested? Don't get me wrong, I think their kits are very nice, cutting edge, they're really having a go at it, but they're not Tamiya, are they, at the end of the day? So lots of people ask me, am I going to do it? Obviously the bigger stuff HK Models coming out with, obviously the Lancaster in the future, things like that, and I'm thinking, I don't know, you know, these are big models. It's going to be a chunk and a half. It's going to be a big model. And do I want to go down the HK route when I know it's got some issues I know people have built it already. So I'm thinking I'm going to hold out and go for the actual Tamiya one. The Tamiya one, let's face it, we know what we're going to get in the box. We know it's going to be stunning. We know it's going to go together really, really well. We know that you can probably get away without going down the aftermarket route, because it will be to a certain level. From what I can gather with the HK Models one, some areas are a little bit lacking and you might want to go a little bit more with it. So anyway, the other thing that turned up today, because to be honest I haven't had much in, but Steve, our team member Steve Sutcliffe, sent me down some of this. Now this is this stuff called Clever Putty. Now if you're following Cheapskate Corner, and let's face it, there's some good stuff in there these days, you would have seen this. Now I'm not sure I can even touch it, because purely I'm not sure how this is going to react with pigments, and I'm a little bit covered. So excuse me whilst I just wash my hands very, very quickly, purely because I don't want to contaminate my putty with pigments in case it loses its stick and stuff like that. Sorry, get that out of the way. All right, so Clever Putty, what is it? It's basically a synthetic form of, I can't remember actually what the technical term for this one is. It's like a silicon, I suppose you'd call it, but basically it comes in a tin like this. When you can get it out, it's very moldable and everything else. And the thing is, if you grab it quite quick, it snaps, okay? But then once you've snapped it, if you pull it very slowly, as you can see, it stretches. So what are you thinking? Okay, the reason this was released and we all got excited about this was because obviously we had that thing with Panzer Putty. As soon as it came out, everybody that I knew of suddenly turned around and said, it's this stuff under a different brand, okay, and all the rest of it. So would it work just the same? So this stuff technically is cheaper, because it doesn't have a modelling tag on it and all the rest of it. But is it exactly the same? So the plan is we're going to put it a little bit of an on test and play with it. But this stuff, as you can see, when you play with it and when you manipulate it, it's actually really nice. I'm not sure if it's going to stain your paintwork, if I'm honest. I'm not, exactly sure how it's going to work with that. But from my point of view of playing with it for 10 minutes, it's probably the most addictive thing you can play with, because it's like a stress ball, and it's really weird because the thing is, if you grab it, it snaps. It's like a rubber band. But if you're really soft with it and you pull it slowly, it stretches. So it's really weird stuff, and they call it clever, whatever it's called, clever putty, because it sort of molds and it holds its shape. Now Steve had it on the live show a couple of weeks ago, and we were looking at it and doing various things, but it's really weird stuff, and I'd love to play with it. I have had a quick go, and I used it for just seeing if it would stick to plastic, and on painted surfaces, it does. Okay, so from the point of view of what we're thinking about it, it will work. Okay, so it's going to work just as well as white tack. I don't think, it doesn't seem to have any residue coming off. So when you're rubbing it in your hands, my hands are now bone dry, no problem at all. So it's not going to have oils, which I think are going to affect your paint and all the rest of it. But it's a thing I would like to do a little bit more work with and work out how it's going to work over time. How many times will this stuff overcoat before it goes off? Okay, let's face it, I've got white tack here, and as you can see by the various colours of it, it's because it's at different stages and been done. The darker one is older stuff, the white stuff is obviously the new stuff. Okay, it works well, but it has got some drawbacks. Okay, this stuff, if it works what I'm thinking it'll do, i.e. it'll be great for masking, doing tack work, worming, bigger areas, things like that, it could be a far better thing than this. The great thing with this one, for instance, is, and you might see it, it self-levels. So if you put it onto your model, you could leave it half an hour and it will literally start to sink, okay? And it all goes very flat. Then spray it. You should have a universal size. So when you're doing the thing with the worms, if you've got different heights and curve to them, and then obviously that can give you different spray patterns, this should universally flatten itself out. And you might be able to see it in here already, this is going flat, okay? So literally if I pop it down there, we'll have a look at it again in a minute, and it might have gone even flatter. So I've been playing with that one today, having a look at that, and then to be honest, this morning I was having a go on the wonder that is the Harrier. I've managed to get this top side all in now and pulled in, and I filled it, everything in. I've pretty much, I think, got the intakes done. We've sanded and taken care of these guys down here, and then we've repolished it. That's why it's looking quite nice down there. We've polished up under here. If you look at how glossy that is. Absolutely fantastic. That's our buffer doing all that work. All right, this one on the back, to be honest, I wasn't very happy with it, and like I say in the actual build video for this one, the Harrier is such an iconic aircraft that when it sits here you just see the back of it. Not many people go, oh, that's a nice Harrier. They're going to look down on it. So if you've got a big seam lines running around the top here, they're going to show up. So I elected to give it another coat this morning. So I came down this morning, sanded it down, wasn't happy with it again. So it's had another coat of filler right the way over the top, obliterating all the detail that goes with it, and we're going to worry about it and put it in again. Okay, so that's my job for tomorrow. I want to get this one basically together. The other thing, which is a total nightmare, is these end stabilizers, which are just, well, terrible. In the world of modelling, of some of the rubbish ideas I've seen for tooling, this has got to be one of the best ones. Not only, this is a two-part, this little guy down here, this end plate goes on, not only does it not fit whatsoever, but there's not even a guide to know how much it links. So you've obviously got this thing where it's a peg in the hole, but the trouble is this peg in the hole, as you can see here, wobbles like hell. It's not just the up and down in the vertical, it's actually got loads of movement inside the hole when it's in here. It actually wobbles up and down probably 5 or 6 degrees, so it's a case of knowing what the angles are going to be. Now I know it roughly falls the same as the wing spar, so that's what I set it to. Mark 1 eyeball, just did it exactly the same, just like that. But here we go, into the pigment, that'll be horrible. You see, that's how horrible pigments are. But at the end of the day, it is literally all a bit of a fight with the entire Harrier, if I'm honest. So, you know, we'll see how that one goes over the next few days. We're going to get that one sanded in, put together, and everything else like that. So, never mind. Other quick updates for the Snap auction. I'm going to redo the video for that, so hopefully I'm going to do that on Thursday. We've just broken the £1,800 mark. Well done to everybody. I can't remember exactly what it was on, but I know we've done over 1,800 now in your raffle tickets. So remember, if you want to get those, you can get those off the Flory Models site. Loads of prizes and goodies to it. There's a couple of things I'm going to add to it again before I do the recording for it, and a couple of things that have come in since, and we'll put those all in for it and everything else like that. Really glad you're enjoying these nice little snippets. To be honest, they're a doddle for me. I enjoy it because everything's relevant and today, and I'm showing you right here as we make our way through. So there we go. So up today, you've got the next part on the Bradley. So that's going to appear below here today. To be honest, you're a little bit further behind. I think it's more in the construction phase and all things like that. So you can see that one, that's up on the site now. And also we've got a review from Hans has done on a BMP as well. This is the trumpeter kit as well, 1/35th scale. So you can have a look at that one. And then tomorrow I'll be off and I've got to do lots of reviews for you. So I've got loads of reviews to get through. I'm going to do those Airfix ones, get those ones due, get the books done, and loads of things for you. So there we go, guys. Glad you're enjoying it all. Happy modelling, and I'll catch you tomorrow.